Well, welcome to another episode of Coronacation. I'm Naomi White in Brisbane, and I'm joined today by Christine Judd, who's in Sydney. How are you, Christine?
I'm doing really well, Naomi. Thanks. How are you doing?
I am excellent, thank you. Thank
Good.
you so much for joining me on Coronacation. Christine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I've been living in Sydney now for just over 10 years and previously came from the hospitality business. Was lucky enough to represent some wonderful five-star hotels worldwide and have traveled extensively. But now I've just got married later on in life and settled down in Sydney. And I thought I wanted to do something to give back to society. So I'm a general manager of Making Waves Foundation, and it's a charity that helps disabled children get out on the water and get some freedom and become inspired and see what they can do and not what they can't do. So this organization has been running for 25 years and we've taken out about 2,000 children each year. And so we've got a very good following. And with this COVID-19, unfortunately, we've had to put it on hold because of obviously the school excursions have stopped. So we can't wait to get that back and running, just to see the pure joy in those little children's faces light up when they get on board a big 54-foot yacht out in the Sydney Harbour.
So you have a job that just takes you sailing on Sydney Harbour every day. This sounds like a
Yeah,
great
that
hardship.
sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe I should just leave it there because it actually sounds really good. Well, the volunteers take the children out. So unfortunately, I'm in the office and just trying to keep the organisation running very smoothly and doing some fundraising and trying to get some assistance to keep it going for the next 25 years. Now and again, I do jump on board now and again and go for a sail. But yeah, because I just love being with those kids. They're just so inspiring all the time.
So the COVID-19 situation has affected everybody in different ways.
Yes.
You've talked to the fact that you can't take children out. How else has it affected you at the moment?
Well, I'm working from home at the moment, and one of the things about being in the hospitality business for so long is that you become such a social person. You know, you're used to interacting with people in a hotel. Certainly there's hundreds of employees that you walk past every minute of the day, etc. And I miss my office workers with Making Waves Foundations because you always banter back and forth. So being at home is a little bit different. And to be honest, I'm getting Zoom video fatigue. If I have to sit in front of a video camera or a Zoom meeting anytime, in the near future will be just too soon for me. I'm done.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. So, it certainly had an impact in regards to just being self-motivated and trying. And because I'm a general manager, I try and keep everybody, up and feeling good about themselves and having interaction. And we've got so many volunteers that it's hard to get them all onto Zoom, so you're on the phone and it's been an interesting exercise. But yeah, I'm ready for it to be done.
So what happens to, so the children can't go out on the water? Is there any other opportunity for interaction with them during this period?
No, unfortunately not, because right now we're so restricted with the two people on one, so we can't have any more than two people with one person. And for the children, because they are pretty high risk because of the nature of their disabilities, there's no interaction. It's all been completely stopped. But I think we're talking about now just coming out of the lockdown a little, getting restrictions eased a bit. And I think that's going to be an opportunity for us to get together with our volunteers and get the boats back out on the water, get the volunteers used to coming back down. And then once the school excursions lift, then we'll get the children back.
Hopefully that happens before the workers go back.
Yes.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So what advice have you got for others during this period? What's been working for you?
Well, to be honest, I think the opportunity just to take a bit of time, because I'm now walking 3 times a day in the parks and what have you, and I just see that everybody is just relaxing a little bit more. They're going out with the families where they can, and it's just nice to see a pause go on in the world. I just feel that the world is taking a great big deep breath, and that I think is good. If you can just relax enough to let that impact you and your lifestyle and how you can, and slow down a little bit and enjoy this really tough time, but enjoy it, because at some point it is going to go to lift, and while life may never get back to normal, it's going to be completely different.
No, I think so. And it sounds like you took a great big giant deep breath in terms of taking over the role of this particular charity
Yes.
after a career in hospitality, which probably would have been quite intense, I imagine.
Yes, it was. The hospitality industry has such great support, and certainly with the brands that I worked with, the teams were fantastic. And when you go from that environment to suddenly something completely different as running a charity and being a general manager for a charity, you do have your teams, but it does seem to be, well, 30 years I spent in hospitality, so that's where I knew it inside out. And suddenly you go into a different environment, and you've also got to fundraise. I mean, we had people spending thousands of dollars a night on suites, in hotels. And now I'm trying to get them to spend thousands of dollars, to help out and support our charity, and for us to continue to take the children out, and see a difference in children with disabilities and that are disadvantaged. So it's a whole different ball game, really.
It is an interesting challenge, isn't it? People that will spend thousands of dollars on a suite without batting an eye. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure a lot of charities out there would say that it's not an easy task getting money donated.
And I think during this COVID time, it's even tougher, because we've heard from some of our regular donors that are quite wealthy, but they've had their monies invested in stock exchange, and of course, all the stocks have gone down, and they're letting us know that they can't contribute any longer, because they have to look after themselves and their family first and foremost, which is completely understandable. But what it does mean is that the donations are going down, and at the end of the day, you've got an infinite amount of money to run the organization. And if you don't get cash flow coming in, it makes it very difficult to continue. So we're fine right now, but it's definitely top priority.
So I imagine with all your years of experience, you would be pretty calm in a crisis.
I think I am. Yes, I think I am. And I've been told that I have been. I had a friend visiting from Brisbane the other day, actually, with some friends, and with her children, and we were making eggs for breakfast. This was pre-COVID, I should stipulate that. And we were making eggs for breakfast, and the tea towel caught light on the gas, and the little boy had the tea towel. I said, "Oh, just give it to me." And the tea towel was going up in flames. I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, the house is burning down." But he just put it into some water and doused it, and that was the end of that. So the mother said, "Oh my gosh, you kept so calm through that." But yeah, you do. Yeah.
So I imagine then, I guess my question is, through this situation, you don't know when it's going to open up. You've obviously got a very important charity that does great work in the world. You need to keep the funding coming in. How do you think about that? How do you stay calm through this process and keep your
Well,
eye on the end
I
game?
think what's going to happen is that we're going to trial a lot of things. Not the way of fundraising historically might not work now, especially over the next 6 months, of getting lots of people together and doing a fundraising event. So we'll have to look at different ways of getting into corporations, or one-on-one calls again, which is almost like sort of sales calls, if you will. The social media platforms that we'll have available, and see how much we can raise on that, and just really trying to be a little bit ingenious and think outside the box. And there's a lot of other charities out there also trying to do the same thing, so learning from each other, I suppose, as well. It'll be interesting to see, but at the end of the day, it's the children that matter, and it's what we can do to enrich their lives on a daily basis, that I think is so important. And just having the passion, we'll make it happen somehow. We'll get it. Yeah, we'll do it.
Well, I think it's probably never been more important, and I wish you all the very best with that. Christine, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and
Thanks,
enjoy the rest
Naomi.
of your afternoon.
Oh, and you also. Lovely to meet you. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Bye.